Hi friends, today we are going to solve pairs problem from the search subsection of the interview preparation kit. So in the given problem statement, given an array of integer and a target value, determine the number of pairs of an array element that have a difference equal to the target value. Okay, so it looks kind of similar to the last problem that we did, which was hash maps of ice cream parlor. So to do this problem, so first let us create a dictionary. So my favorite variable of writing a dictionary is dictex. I don't know why, but I do like it. So for I in range of 0 to uh, length of array, so we'll create our dictionary with our key value pair. So here the key is going to be the value of the array, and the value corresponding that key is going to be the value of that array. Kind of self-intuiting, but that's correct. Here we will also add a count variable that will count the number of pairs that will have a difference equal to the target sum. So once we have done that, we'll create or write another loop for I in range 0 to length of array, and write a temp variable. So temp equal to k plus array of I. The reason for writing it, instead of getting a subtraction value, why we are adding those values. So to understand this, let's take an example of the current value that is provided. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And our target sum or should be 1. So you have to find values whose data should be, or number of count of the variables whose value should be equal to k when in a subtract. So we could easily understand from this code that there will be three parts. So 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 4. So when we subtract 4 from 3, 2 from 3, and 1 from 2 from 1, we'll get a value of 1. So there will be three values. So we could easily say array of I minus array of I plus 1 should be equal to k, and we could say absolute values. But we can also write this statement in something very interesting way, which would be array of I could be same as k plus array index of I plus 1. So in this scenario, if we are adding that value, so once the value is added, so for example, let's take the example of when I and 2. Let's take an example of, it should be like this: I plus 1 and array of I. So the value would be plus 1. So here, if the ith value is 0, so array, so it could easily, so k plus a of I is 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So here our job would be to find, is there any key exists in the dictionary whose value is equal to true. So let's write that code. if temp in dict dot keys. So if there is any value which if there is any value, for example, if 2 exists in this dictionary, then we could easily say that there is a pair exist. By subtracting that, we will get a value of k. So count plus equal to 1. And there is one more thing to understand is that all the values present in this array is going to be distinct. Although it's not written properly, but we could easily infer that it would be distinct. So we could write one more thing to understand it, is that if temp equal to array of I, then no need to proceed to the next step of finding that value in the dict dot keys. We could simply continue. So we could continue the loop rather than going to the next step. So this is the idea. So for example, if the kth value is let's take an example. Let us suppose that kth value is 4. It might not be required. Let's check this first. Let's run this code. So I hope you were able to understand the entire idea. So instead of subtracting, we'd be adding those steps. Oh, I forgot to return this value. It's very important. Okay, it should be dictates.key. There is no variable called dict. My mistake. Let's submit this code. Okay. So here what we are basically doing is that we are basically trying to find a value. So basically instead of subtracting a value, so you'd be adding that value to k and find whether there exists a variable which is equal to k plus array of I. And if there is an exist a value, then we would be just returning, we would be counting that value plus 1 and return the count. This is a very simple and straightforward problem, kind of like the way I have solved the last problem of hash tables of ice cream parlor. It's pretty similar to that. Actually, I tried to solve this problem using the dictionary, because if we look at this time complexity of this problem, this time complexity is big of n. So which is kind of very, it will require a very less amount of time to solve this problem, which would really help you in solving this issue. So yeah, so if you guys have a better way of solving this problem, then please feel free to comment. And as always, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next video.